How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. If you would see this right here, this is what we would like for you to do. Jump inside of the chat. Let me make a recommendation for the future when you join this, at least over Facebook specifically, is if you join via your coaching page. That way, when you comment, because what you're going to comment, you see that right there, if you already have a link to your website, if you already have a link to your social media, if you already know who it is that you hope to serve, throw that in to the chat. I'll shout it out. Plus, we'll let Google improve your search results, because if anybody is looking for that niche, they're going to see you because our page gets ranked higher. You get the benefit of the equity of a page that's been around, and also a program that's been around for a really long time. So that's the way that Google works. Domain authority, that's what they call it. We have a forward mission statement at Life Coach Training Institute. It is proficient coaches, so everything that we do is always unto you becoming a better coach, helping your clients. That's why we are in this series right now that we are talking about work-life balance. And we also have the other side of it, not only proficient coaches, but thriving practices. We want you to be successful. We want you to leave that 9 to 5, be able to work in coaching full time if that's what your heart's desire is, and also to step into wealth, have breakthrough there as well. But again, jump inside the chat. Let us know that you are here. Let me say hello to a couple of people saying hello to me. CJ's joining us from Los Angeles. Good to see you. Joan is joining us from Bakersfield. I don't know who this is. Havish? Havis? I'm guessing Havish. I'm just saying because it's a big username, so I'm trying to pick out what I think might be the first name. Carmen saying hello. California again. California's taken over so far. By the way, and it's Carmen's joining us from Raleigh, North Carolina. This is the first winter we have lived in a really long time, because we made the move. Life Coach Training Institute moved to Pensacola, Florida, and I thought we were just going to get Florida weather. It has been so cold. It will cut you in half. There is a fountain in town, and half of the fountain is frozen. So I know that many of you're joining us, and you've got maybe a foot of snow or something like that. You still think that I'm being ridiculous. I just don't know what to do with cold weather. I guess I'm not going to know what to do this year with humidity either, because I've left the South a really long time ago, and now I'm back. Good to see you. There's Karen joining us from Georgia. Don't forget, if you would, jump inside the chat. Not only let us know that you are here, but if you have a link to your website, if you've already chosen your niche, say, here's who it is that I help, and what problems that I help people solve. Throw that in the chat. If you got a link to your social media and that's all you have right now, or if you're in process, you're a coach in training, throw that in there. We welcome you all. But the thing is that if you are getting your business up and going and you get a client out of watching this, I would love for that to happen. That'd be like one of my favorite stories of all time, because then we really would be fulfilling our mission statement, because you would be getting clients off of joining us on one of these nights. Also, do me one other huge favor: like and share this post. That tells Facebook and it tells YouTube that we're doing a good job. We want to get this in front of more coaches. There's Dan joining us from Indiana. That's Dan's website, Elevation Life Coaching for Men, and he is a work-life balance coach. I should have just had Dan do this series, and then I could have had like 5 weeks off. Why didn't we do that, Dan? All right. Carmen says, I am a coach in training right now. That's awesome. Very good, everybody. Well, listen. And there's Karen's website, mydivinefreedom.com. I help women overcome self-doubt and move forward in life. Beautiful. Well, keep those comments coming in when they pop up. I will say hello to you. This is the series that we are in. I didn't want to call it work-life balance series. That's so boring. Instead, look at this. Sustainable success. That's the series that we are in. And we are tackling work-life balance in this series. I see another comment coming in. I'll say hello to them. Dan says, you are the pro. No, I am not the pro specifically. We've chosen niches. And so tonight is going to be a specific topic that I know is a very big pain point, but it's never been my own pain point in terms of life. but it's definitely been a pain point for a lot of people. And so hopefully, and you can test me at the end again, Dan. That would be great. All right. So here's the series that we are in. It's sustainable success. We are in week 2. I'd encourage you to go back to week 1 if you missed it. This week, what we're talking about is when clients feel like everybody needs me. Now, before we jump into that, if you want the slides, here's how you get them. So, all of these beautiful slides that we designed for you, all you've got to do is text in the word, only the keyword slides to 833-258-7547. At the bottom of that page, it's a beautiful lime green button. You can download the slides into a PDF. That way, because what I do every week, one of the reasons why we do these is because we cover a lot of nuanced topics on a Mentor Monday. And it's stuff that you really won't ever hear in coach training school, because you have to get the basics and you have to get a foundation. And at some point, you've got to actually finish and get certified and start helping people. But there's all these nuanced topics that I like to cover on Mondays and in other kinds of forums when we do specialty topic stuff and everything else. So what we did in this, if you'll download those slides, not only will you get the slides and they're beautiful with the points, you're also going to get the tools that I give you, because I give you coaching tools and I help you process these things with your clients. So make sure that you text that in really quick. I'll give you like 5 seconds to do it. 5, 4, 3, do it quick. Text just the keyword slides to 833-258-7547. Okay, it's going away. So here's what we're talking about again. When clients feel like everyone needs me. Not just clients, there's some of you on here tonight. Be honest, throw it in the chat. Are you a person in general who feels like everybody needs me? And you've actually said that everybody needs me. The kids, my husband, my wife, my work, my church, my friends, all of these things. Go ahead and throw it in the comments. I want you to be honest, because I know that this particular topic is going to hit a lot of you tonight, even because if you ever do CFQs are coaching frequency quotient. That is, and it's free. You can take the course and you can find out what coaching style you are. You'll have a primary and a secondary on that. You'll have a signature style and an amplifier. And what I find is that there's a large percentage of coaches that live in one of 2 categories of the 5 frequencies that we give you. And in those 5, 2 of them very much have the propensity towards this. So I know a lot of you have it and you're experiencing that. Let me look really quick. Did anybody say yes? That's something that you've been struggling with. Karen says yes. Always pulled in 1,000 directions. My clients at work. And let me just give a shout out to Thomas from Baltimore. I help men overcome childhood trauma. Awesome. So I'm not one of those people, and I've never been one of those people, but I'm married to one. So I know the pain. And I think sometimes living in the pain with someone is actually more painful than having it yourself sometimes, except that at a certain point we get to sleep at night if we don't feel pulled in 1,000 directions. So for all of you watching tonight, and for those that you're married to significant others that have that plight, or the vast majority of you who you will be coaching at least a handful of these people, this is for you. So when I'm going to call it a syndrome. I'm going to call it helping everyone needs me syndrome, because we need to really understand what's taking place here. This is actually one of the most common life work balance patterns that coaches will actually encounter. And it shows up when too many roles require full presence at the same time. And here's the thing that I'll tell you. It can't be fixed with better time management or necessarily stronger boundaries. Now, boundaries are a legitimate conversation you should be having with your clients, and that's got its own baggage and different things. I'm not touching that tonight. Maybe we will do another series just simply on boundaries, because there's boundaries with people. There's things. It gets into being a complicated mess. But what we're talking about, this everyone needs me syndrome, is not just fixed with better time management or stronger boundaries. It actually requires a different listening lens, which is what you're going to have to grow into. And what I'm hoping is that tonight will give you a new lens to filter these things through, and also give you a new approach. Because as we said last week, a lot of coaches are just simply coaching life work balance the wrong way. Now, what do clients actually say? This is what it sounds like. Um, when they talk about it, they rarely describe this as a role issue. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll get to that in a second. Really, what you're going to hear the most from your clients is that you're going to hear them talk in terms of pressure. When I say pressure, what I mean is that you're going to hear them say stuff like this: if I don't handle this, then everything's going to fall apart. Now, there's something about a lens, and we talk about this in our coach training. But people have a narrative, they have a story that they tell, and the lens, in many cases, never gets checked by anyone, and that allows people to live in their pain, to live in their stuff, live under limiting beliefs, and also sometimes to completely exaggerate their circumstance. I'm not going to say that it doesn't feel like this sometimes, because the pressure feels like that. Whether it's true or not does not necessarily mean that it is true. And it doesn't mean that they are truly being honest with themselves or honest about the situation. What happens is that when you have all of these things going on and you're prone to overwhelm, you're looking at all the things that are running and your responsibilities and what people, your relationships. It's a complicated mess because it's not just things you do, it's not just action items, and it's not just that I have a big to do list. It is the people that are involved, it's the relationships. It's really bigger thing is the roles. It's more than just simply action item. We're talking about roles. Everyone comes to me. See how that's related to people? It's relational in nature. Everyone comes to me. See, this is why you got to listen to this. You don't want to coach the wrong thing. If I don't handle this, it falls apart. That's kind of its own thing. Everyone comes to me. Now, is it true that everyone comes to them? No, that's not that. It's exaggeration, right? But that's the lens. And so if you speak this way and you talk in that way and no one ever challenges it, then that could be overwhelming if you literally think that everyone comes to you. And here's the other thing that I would say. Um, what would make it okay that literally everyone could have equal share of your time? We'll get to that in a second. I can't step back right now. There is nothing more more debilitating. There's nothing that steals your own autonomy than to say, I can't do something. That means that your permission is being held. It sounds like somebody's holding you hostage in your life with a big to-do list, and you have no control over those things. So the thing is, um, you'll also hear them say stuff about balls dropping, spinning plates. These are kind of metaphors that people will use. There's no room to let anything drop. These are very common things that people will say. What they're describing is being required in too many places at once. Oh, that's kind of obvious, Paul, but that's what they're really describing. But what's really happening? What's really happening is that when clients feel like everyone needs me, the issue really isn't how much they're doing. It's that nothing ever gets to turn off. And every role that they are playing in their life is activated. So that's the overwhelm, because they are on and they are live with literally everyone. And again, what I would say is if you are one of the, because here's the thing, those coaching personalities that I was talking to you about that guys should do CFQ, and I would say specifically mirrors and anchors will live there probably more than some of the others. But anybody who's got a heart for people, anyone who really cares about people and cares about relationships could have a propensity towards this thing. But I would say that this is happening at a level where you are probably giving too many people in too many situations um, permission just to access you at any time in your life. And here's what I would say is that not every relationship is equal. Not every responsibility is equal. Not everything that you are doing is equal, but if you allow it to be activated in your life at that level, then you will suffer burnout because you will never be able to stop. Every request feels immediate, whether it actually is or not. And I'd have to say, and you'll have that boundaries conversation at a certain point, not everybody gets to have immediate access and get what they want immediately. Everything is competing for attention. So even when clients slow down, their system is never slowing down. Now, here's a coaching insight. Obviously, I'm going to say this like 3 times. This is probably the 4th time. Too many roles are asking for full presence at the same time. So how are we going to coach it? Well, the solution is that we're going to coach them to decide which roles need full attention right now and which ones don't. Simple enough. So, like I said, what is the problem? The problem is a role problem. What is the other part of the role problem? Is that we are allowing everybody and everything to have immediate access, and we're always on, and we're always activated in all of these things. So, your get out of jail free card for your client, because they're the people who have actually put themselves in jail. And how we're going to do that is allow them to decide to have another thought about how we're allowing every role to access us whenever it wants. So here's how we're going to do that. This coaching tool, we're just saying sorting roles by attention. And really what we're doing, and it's very simple. This is a very easy tool. We're going to have clients list their current roles. We're not talking about tasks because there's tasks in the to-do list and all of those things. We're not talking about that. What we are talking about is the roles, and there are certain tasks that are connected to those roles. And so you sort each role by answering one simple question. So I'm not giving you like 70 coaching questions or whatever. One powerful question. What happens if this role doesn't get my full attention right now? That's the question. All right. So if I'm going to coach somebody in this, we said it's a role issue. So here's the one simple coaching question. What happens if this role doesn't get my full attention right now? And here's how we apply it to each one of those roles. See, there's going to be 3 categories that we're going to put these things in. That front burner, imagine we're talking about like a stove, right? That's our metaphor. The front burner, the things that are on the front are the things that can't wait. Now, generally speaking, and I don't know anything about cooking, my wife can attest to this. I can make like 2 things. I can make some perfect sunny side up eggs, and I can do a decent job with burgers on the grill from time to time. Outside that, it's pretty much it. I can make cereal, milk and cereal. I can make a good cup of coffee. Those are very few things. You can't live off of coffee, though I've tried. So, front burner. Obviously, those are priority items. These are things that you got to keep your eye on at all times. And this is a conflict that it always creates with my wife, is because every time she asks me to help her in the kitchen, she's always just like, okay, turn that on. And then I turn it on. And you know what I do? I leave it. And my wife's like, you can't leave it. You can't stop watching it. And I'm like, what is this? What are we talking about? You said it's going to be like 15 minutes or 30 minutes to cook. Yeah, but you've got to watch it at all times. And that's requiring movement and energy and all this other stuff. And so I've ruined a lot of our pans and stuff over the years because I get very distracted and I'm not particularly interested in it. So, front burner, you got to keep your eyes on those things. If this role doesn't get focused right now, that means that something breaks. This is how we're defining it. Something breaks. It's a decision that cannot wait. And there are immediate consequences if I let this go. So if this ball is dropped, we got big problems. And so these roles that have these particular items, we can't let go. And we're allowing our client to be able to decide to distinguish this a particular role over other things. Now, that second category is going to be back burner. And they're things that still matter, but they're not urgent. What's the back burner on the stove? Well, my assumption is these are the things that are cooking, but they're cooking a lot slower, right? Not like those front burner. My wife's always putting me on front burner duty, and I'm not good at that. I need to be with my personality and everything else and my distractions. The back burner needs to be what I'm cooking. Put it in, Maybe this could even be the crock pot. It could sit there. And if my friend Eric is watching, yes, I said crock pot on him Mentor Monday. We've got this long running joke. I'll tell you what the joke is. And he'll laugh so hard if he watches this or if my wife watches this. My wife only watches Mentor Mondays on the nights that I happen to say something about her or the kids. And she's like, why are you always using me as an illustration? Or she'll say stuff like, that didn't really happen like that. It happened like this. And I'll say, it's my story. I'm telling it. So it happened exactly like I said it. Well, Eric's an old friend of mine. He went through Life Coach Training Institute in our first year. He was one of our first grads. And we went out to visit them while they were living in Utah. And we go, and he has a wonderful Brazilian wife. And my wife, we get there, and my wife wanted to give her a gift, and she gives her a gift, and it is a crock pot set. And it's like, it was a big one, and then it was a medium-sized one, and then it was a baby one, like for dips. And she looks at it, and his wife cooks all the time, but she'd never seen a crock pot before in her life. It's just not something that they use. Now, fast forward, it's something they use, and they're always getting invited to potlucks. And he shows me videos every time because now they live in Ohio. And every time there's a potluck where they are, there's like 20 crock pots that are sitting there. Crock pots are amazing, though. If you don't know what they are, you Southerners definitely know what crock pots are. Crock pot, you put it in and you turn it on, and you know what's not going to happen? It's not going to burn. It's just going to take a while. Still matters, just not urgent. So if this role doesn't get focused right now, you know what will happen? Things will still function. Progress will slow, but nothing will fall apart. Except the roast. If you put a roast in a crock pot, a pot roast in there, that will fall apart. Sorry, I'm still on that metaphor. Small check-ins are enough. I love crock pot cooking. That's the way I like to do it because I can forget about it for a half an hour or an hour. And my wife texts me and she's like, have you been watching that? I can run in really quickly and nothing has fallen apart just to make sure there's enough liquid in there, those kinds of things. So again, you're helping your client. See, this makes it really easy. What's on the front burner? You got to keep your eyes on that. What's the things that if you don't watch it constantly, it matters, but it's not going to fall apart? It's the back burner. Now, last category on the shelf. These are things, they might be important. They just don't need attention right now. And so the way that we're defining this role doesn't get focused right now, nothing significant changes. It stays stable on its own, and it doesn't require decisions. This is the way that we do it, folks. We got to get balance. Here's the final thought. Everyone needs me is a signal to look at how many roles are demanding attention at the same time. Relief doesn't come from dropping roles, but from changing how much attention each role gets. And coaching works when clients can see which roles are on the front burner and which don't need to be. So what we've got to do is that we've got to coach clients to help them focus their attention before they try to change their commitments. For those of you who are looking to fast track your business, you want to get this thing up and going. You've been thinking about, maybe you got trained and certified and you've been thinking about this thing, but you haven't actually made great movement, great strides towards it. What we did when we started Life Coach Training Institute, it actually originated because I'd been helping coaches in the San Diego area because I was successful at getting trained and certified and actually getting clients. And that wasn't something that was true for most coaches because they would go out and pay a lot of money for a certificate and have no idea how to get clients. And it's not rocket science, but I realized that most people have never done a sales job. I was one of those. I'd never done business. I tried to do a sales job and failed miserably previously in life, like in college, knowing that I never wanted to do sales again. So what I had to do is I had to figure out how to get clients, not be salesy, understand that this is a relational business, and wrap my coaching practice around me, not the way that everybody else is trying to do things. And this is why in 2016 we started launching the business development portion of Life Coach Training Institute, and there's nothing like it in our industry. What I did over the last year is I took all of the things that I've been teaching coaches over the last 12 years, specifically in business. We've been training coaches for for 12 years. And so what we did is I put it together in a 30-day plan. It's a really easy, if you walked away from it for like a week and you get sidetracked for a month, it's built for that. You can get right back in and know exactly where you left off because you know what your steps are. You're never going to be clueless. You're never going to be like, I don't know what to do next. What we did is that we put a 30-day plan together. I've got videos that supplement everything, and we give you a lot of done for you kinds of information that makes it kind of plug and play. So here's the way that it works. We give you a 65-page, so you have an entire guide that we call the launch guide, and we have videos that accompany it that I'm not trying to repeat everything that's in the guide, but I talk you through it, and you have all of those steps. There's also done for you templates. There's checklists. You'll have your coaching agreements, all those things. We show you how to create and choose a coaching niche. And we also spend a lot of time helping you build out your coaching offers. I always say you need to have an entry level offer. You should have a group offer, which is kind of mid tier. Your entry level is an easy yes offer. Then there's a mid-tier, which is a group offer, and then your VIP. We show you how to build lead magnets. We show you how to create a high-converting website. We give you a wireframe. I walk you through examples. We give you email writing tools. Anybody who's gone through any of my email writing training knows that they are getting high open rates on their email list with their clients. It's a launch planner. We give you a lot of bonus tools. We show you how to optimize your website for search engines. We show you how to choose a business structure and how to go about all of those steps. But we also are going to give you the course, The Essential Guide to Group Coaching. That we give you group coaching training videos, and we also give you a group coaching program creation guide. And just released this week, we also have the Fast Track community. Basically, when you log into your student dashboard as a student, you'll have access to the community. And so everybody who's going through that program, that way you can get feedback, you can share wins, you can stay engaged. We have monthly hot seats. You're able to ask your questions, and then we'll also reply not only in comments and give you feedback through the group, but we'll also be responding with videos. And Joan, who's our associate coach trainer, will be working with me once a month. We'll just do some hot seat topics, and we'll go back and forth on some of the specific questions that you need. What we tried to do in this is to make this work with your schedule. We're not trying to make you show up another night of the week for training or anything else. We're doing this to make it where you never have to miss anything and you get the kind of help that you need. Now, this program is only $195. Pardon me, I apparently just went into puberty. That's what my 13-year-old would have told me. Drink of water to get the throat under control. The program's only $195. It is an absolute steal. We know it's worth thousands of dollars. For those of you who have not gotten trained and certified as a coach, though, you can bundle 30-day fast track for only $295. So we'll take $100 off of the price, and you can get the full program for only $295. And there is a payment plan. How do you get trained and certified? Well, our Life Coach certification course is our flagship coaching program We started doing self-paced training all the way back in 2014, and we've gotten very, very good at it after training over 50,000 coaches. These are the modules. We help you understand what coaching is compared to other kinds of helping roles in session one. But then in session two, we give you a 20,000-foot view and we give you the nuts and bolts. So we look at a coaching session and then we break it down so that you understand all the components, and we give you two coaching conversational models. We spend 2 sessions on listening. And the reason why we do that is that we want you to be aware of the blockages and the biases and the things that basically derail your listening with a client, and then also help you start paying attention to the things that you should be listening for. We round everything out with how to establish a growing coaching practice and how to help your. Oh wait, I'm jumping way ahead. Session 5 is how to ask powerful questions. Then we go from that to talk about goal setting and accountability. In the final session, which in and of itself is worth, in my opinion, thousands of dollars, we show you how to establish a growing coaching practice. We cover the business side of coaching, but I also talk to you about business strategy, which is one of those things that is never covered in anybody else's training with any kind of like significance, from the standpoint of it never works what anybody else is out there saying. Dirty secret of the industry is there's a lot of people training coaches that have never actually been successful as a coach, and they're not been very successful as business people. But rest assured, you can know that we've been very successful at doing that. So the strategies that we give you will absolutely work, and that session's amazing for you for that. The Life Coach Certification course is 30 hours of training, but that doesn't include the live Tuesday night coach training, which is an optional part that you can join. That gives you another 100 hours that you have accessible, where you can come in, get the latest version of the training, get your questions answered, and spend some weeks where we just practice, where we do role-playing practice with coaches and we give you feedback. We're going to give you your onboarding documents, so you're not going to have to come up with all of that on your own. It's basically in a template that's going to save you hundreds of hours and hundreds of dollars and at least 100 hours of development. You're going to get a coaching tool starter pack. You're going to get a free listing on our directory, lifecoachmatch.com. And obviously, you're going to get your certificate. That's $3,500 worth of value, only $195. But if you do it with Fast Track, then you can get it for $295. So you're essentially getting about $7,500 worth of value for only $295. I highly recommend it. So, Dan, I don't know if you're still on. I hope I did a good job tonight. You can tell me later if I was bad again this week. Dan, I'll make sure that you do the next 3 weeks or something like that. But if you tell me I did a good job, since that's your niche, then I guess I'm doing a good job. But I have no idea. Unless Dan throws something in the chat in the next 5 seconds, I have no idea if I did a good job or not. But I hope I did. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. We're going to stick this video on replay and get trained and certified. Jump inside of the chat, or if you've gotten trained and certified and you haven't started your business. Oh, Dan, yeah, there's Dan. Yay! Okay. If you want to get enrolled, the link is inside the description of this video. Just click on there. It'll take you about 90 seconds to get enrolled, and you'll have instant access to all of your course materials. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. And particularly, I appreciate Dan tonight. I needed kudos. Yes, thanks. Encouragement never hurt anybody ever in their life. I highly encourage you to get encouraged and to encourage people every day. So listen, I appreciate you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week and take care.